At times, we feel, listen, this is a big problem and it needs a major solution. And so we attack the situation and we come after this major problem and we invest too much time, too much resources, and too much energy into it. And we experience a victory, but it's really a defeat. What do I mean by that? We put so much into trying to win the battle that we lose too much in the process. And so me and my wife, we're fighting because I got to win. I'm not going to let her win this. I got to win this, but I lose the marriage in the process. I won the argument, but I lost the marriage. I won the argument, but I lost the kids. You understand what I'm saying? So we get the victory, but we lose too much in the process because we've put too much time, energy, and resource in the wrong place because we didn't have the plan of God. Now, on the flip side, you have AI. AI is where we underestimate the size of the problem and we don't put enough time, energy, and resources in it. We don't attack it with the right amount of resources, and the result of that is defeat because we don't have the plan of God. And we need the plan of God so that we can know exactly what we need to put into it. Because even though they were dealing with a small problem, listen, there was a big issue hidden in the shadows. It was a small problem, and they figured all they needed was a small answer, but there was a big issue hidden in the shadows. And until God exposed the issue, then God says to Joshua, now take the whole army, not 3,000 men, take the whole army against that little city. And then they had victory because now they got the plan of God. So you need God's plan because everything you see is not always judgeable from the ground up. You need to see what's going on under the ground. You need to see from the ground down. You need to see the situation from the ground down because God is looking at what you cannot see. The icebergs. Thank you. It's the iceberg. God is looking at what you cannot see, and what you cannot see oftentimes is greater than what your eyes can perceive. So we need the plan of God. That's why we need the help of the Holy Spirit. We need God's strategy so we can know how to handle these situations that are coming against us. Because the big thing may be a simple solution. And here's the kicker. Oftentimes our defeat comes right after a major victory. They had just defeated Jericho. They just won a major victory. But the problem is they took the knowledge of what they gained from that experience into the next experience. So they no longer rely on the help of the Holy Spirit. It says, go back to Romans 8:26. They're no longer relying on the help of the Holy Spirit. They're now relying on the arm of flesh. What they can do because they've experienced some things, and that's the danger. When we experience some things in God, we think that we know God and we got this. And we know how it's supposed to go, but when we try to rely on what we know, we miss God. You cannot rely on what you know in the problems that you faced yesterday and take it today. It says, likewise the Spirit also helpeth our infirmity. 4 words, for we know not. That's the attitude you and I need to have in every circumstance, because as long as that's my attitude, I come to God for help. And I seek the help of the Holy Spirit. But if my attitude is, I know, I don't look for his help. And so I deal with it on my own terms. But the one problem is, the enemy you defeated yesterday is no dummy. He remembered what you did to defeat him. He remembered that Joshua defeated them with simple energy, little strategy. He remembered how they won. And he is banking on you to come at him again with the same method. He is counting on you to come at him without the help of God. He is banking that you're going to come at him with a simple strategy. So he presents a similar problem, and you take your yesterday's knowledge into your similar problem today. But the problem is yesterday's strategy doesn't work on today's problems. You need the plan of God. You got to have the plan of God. You understand what I'm saying? Because you cannot go into today's problems armed with yesterday's weapons. It doesn't work. Because the same devil that you whipped yesterday, he's standing there waiting for you today.